Hey everybody, and welcome back to the second channel. Welcome back to learning songs from 1st of October's second album, Gourmet Ravioli. If you're unfamiliar, 1st of October is Andrew Huang and my one-day-a-year band, where we get a day in a recording studio to write and record an entire album. So this song that came from our second album is called Ben Wyatt, and very rushed lyrics on this one, and just pulling from being a big fan of the show Parks and Rec. So yeah, this one was down to the wire, and I was like, what could I ramble about? Like, Parks and Rec is probably it. And I got a beautiful Chapman White Dove with me here, finally making its way into a video other than the shovel video where we just had it in as a gag to replace it with a shovel. It's absolutely beautiful guitar. I'm glad to finally be using it. I've had it for a little while. Yeah, and it's just lovely, and it's really good for a song like this. So anyway, the first part of the song is a little bit tricky. What I'm doing here is I am first strumming through a G chord. So if you're familiar with this one, just your regular G, I like to play them with 3rd fret, 2nd, open, 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 3. I'm not one of these types of G's because I like having the open strings there. I am a big fan of open strings. So that's how I do my G chords. 2nd finger, 1st finger, and 3rd. 3, 2, open, 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 3. And I'm bringing that all the way up an octave to 15, 14, open, 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 15. That sound like, now can you see it?
Oh, a little better.
A little better?
Yeah.
All right, it's pretty clumped in there. And what I'm changing here is I am moving my 3rd finger over 1 fret to an F sharp, which is weird, and then putting my pinky on that 15. So the first strum is a G chord, but the 3rd finger is preparing to go to here. So it's a weird clumped mess of a chord right here. So I'm strumming pretty slowly, and then immediately bringing up my 4th finger to get that F sharp, the 14th fret, and then bringing my pinky up to the 15th fret on the B. It's weird. Oh, it's weird. Do we have a good shot of it?
No, it's impossible.
No, it's impossible? Okay.
I'm right close in on it now. You need to turn fully toward me.
Alright, let's just get an up-close shot of... Yeah. Okay, here we go.
Okay, yeah.
So it's just the G, but instead of just doing it like that, like you got your regular G, right?
Yeah.
Your regular G chord, sliding it up an octave, and then moving this finger here over a fret, and putting your pinky there.
Okay.
So you have your 3rd and 4th finger both on the E string, and then you're strumming through. Like, can you see it?
Yep.
Strumming through, and then.
Okay.
And so that's that. Yeah, it's weird. So find a good guitar where your position would be where it's going to be most comfortable. So it's a weird chord. So you go through twice, and you want to have like quick stops after that. I think if we had more time, we just have one guitar going, and then have another guitar doing, if we had the time, but we did not. Also, it's just kind of cool to play it all on one fretboard.
Yeah.
So, so the beginning is that twice. And then you move these 2 fingers over to that next, that's a 3rd, that G. Then you move it over to, so 14th fret, 12th fret. And again, I usually think of it in how it would be an octave down, because this is normally where you are. So it's 3, 2, and then 2, 0. So that goes through twice. Then you move those 2 fingers over. And then again. And it's a shame that this only happens at the beginning of the song.
It's really pretty.
Because I think it's like the prettiest part of the song.
Yeah.
And if we had more time, that chord would come back. And then it ends. So this song is a lot of thirds, and I remember around when I first started playing guitar, I discovered that I could take the G, and then I have those 3 fingers on the fretboard, and I would just find, moving it up, what frets would work. And you come up with these 2 different shapes, this like G shape, and then this other shape where these 2 are always going to be on the same fret because they're the octave, and then this one is either here or here. And so I just learned all these chords. And so that's what we're going to be using. So just on the E and A string in G major, we're just going down the thirds a lot in the song. And here right at the end, we're just continuing that pattern. So, and then just going down. And with these thirds as well, and once we get into the verse, we'll be doing this a lot. You're strumming through, and because of these 3 open strings, you can kind of just be loose with it and get those open strings in there as well. But anyway, those chords at the end are 12-10, then 10-9, 8-7. And so I'll go through the whole beginning. Oh, you know what? I did leave that high. Speaking of that, how I found those chords, also my 3rd finger is at the octave above. So I forgot to mention that. So yeah, this whole shape. 12-10, open, 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 12. 10-9, open, 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 10. 8-7, open, 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 8. And that's the beginning. And unfortunately, it's the only time that it happens. It comes back similarly, but yeah, I wish it came back more, but that's the only time where that whole part is in the song. And then the verse is, now we're forgetting about your 3rd finger here in the top E string, and just going to that G, that 3rd, and just strumming through. I also like strumming close to the bridge. Gives you a cool sound. And again, those open strings, you can, I find with doing these chords, the more intensity you want, you can add those more open strings. And right at the beginning, I'm pretty much just doing the E and A string. So yeah, it's this shape. 15-14. Ben Wyatt loves calzones. Then just down the thirds. And those are the same chords we learned earlier, just without the high E. 14-12, 12-10, 10-9, and that's the verse. And then it goes back to this for a little instrumental break, but you never switch that chord, so it's just this the whole time. Oh, and there's one of those. So somewhere in there we add in just the 12th fret, D, G, and B string. Because the G chord is so lovely that you have those 3 open strings. Those 3 open strings, harmonic on the 12th fret. So put your finger on the 12th fret, but just barely touch it to the strings. And that's in there somewhere. Let me figure it out as I play it. There it is. And then this just stays that. And then back to the verse. Just using those thirds and going down, down, down. And the lyrics just follow the same chords, cause we didn't have time to do anything else. Then we walk up, blah, 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 blah. And then that's just those same thirds that I was showing earlier that I learned a million years ago from the G chord, but no high E, and it's just the E and A. So a G that we're used to, 3-2, 5-3, 7-5, 8-7, 10-9, 12-10, 14-12, back up an octave to G. And you can strum through and keep those open strings there as well. And that's Ben's a friend you can depend on, and it's just going through those. So that's a little tricky, but if you haven't learned, I guess, thirds, this is a great way to do it, because that part is just like pretty much that's all the thirds in G major. Ben's a friend you can depend on. Yeah, and then that's that part, and then the bridge, I guess, is another one where you can keep a lot of open strings. I wouldn't use the highest E string open, but anytime you got the B, G, or D string, it's fair game. So this chord is pinky on the 7th fret on the E, then your 2nd finger on the 5th fret, A, and then 1st on the 4th. I've used this progression in a ton of songs as well. So you have this shape, and you can use a lot of different keys too, but right here in G major you have these extra open strings, which is cool. And all I'm doing is I'm changing the note that's on the E string. And so I'm going 7th fret, 5th, 3rd, 5th, and I'm changing up my position as well to make more sense with it. So here, we got that shape, and then I switch it up to here. 2nd finger, 3rd finger, 1st. This is just like an E major type shape. And then changing my position again to 1st finger, 3rd finger, 2nd. And that's, again, just changing what the low string is doing. So this same shape, 7, 5, 3, and the strumming patterns. And then the end is those triplets, ba 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 ba. And we're just going through those 3 chords. There's a bit more nuance. At some point, I like to add in those high strings on like upstrokes, and it's a lot of kind of that crazy strumming pattern. It sounds a bit sloppy. It's intentional. And triplets. And then some transitional thing, can be whatever you want. I also added just some random notes here and there. Again, with this album, the first time we ever played the song is what's on the album. And so there's a lot of improvisation, but it's just those 3 chords. And then we go through it again. And then it goes back to that same riff from before, but now it's an octave down, which I actually find to be a lot harder. So you start just with a G, you strum but only to the G string, and then you add in 4th fret on the D, and then open on the D string. And I find that actually to be a lot more difficult than the clump of chords. Yeah, and there's that. Honestly, I think that part of the song could be a lot better, but but it's kind of cool. We bring it an octave down. Bass does something. Slide up, and then you go up to the same G. You just strum it once, and then here's kind of where the instrument's cut out. Ben Wyatt loves calzones. Ben Wyatt loved these chords. Bop, 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 slide. And again, just same chords, but you're just getting them real fast. Bop, 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 bop. So we'll start from that part. Ben Wyatt loves calzones. Ben Wyatt loves calzones. Zones, 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 slide. Ben Wyatt loves calzones. I might have added the high G there too. Ben Wyatt loves calzones. Ben Wyatt loves calzones. And walking up those thirds we learned before. Back to this. Then we just do the triplets, and then we're done with the song. And that is Ben Wyatt. So If you'd like to show your appreciation for all our favorite calzone-loving accountant, that would be the way to do it. And if you post any covers, please tag us in them so that we can see them and we can repost them or put them on the fan-made covers playlist. Thanks so much for watching this channel and being a fan of our one-day-a-year silly band.